We're going to make this watch list quick. I've got a couple things on watch. There's some confliction here, but I'll go over that. Come over to ZTRADEZ.net. Check out the terms and conditions page. If you agree to it, great. Feel free to watch it and join the Discord completely free in the description of this video below. Or you can join it on ZTRADEZ.net. If you don't agree to it, do not watch this video. Let's jump into it. TLT is something I'm watching long term here. Not a part of the weekly watch list, but inflation's starting to come down. We have to see next month's April's CPI, which will bake in March's for the tariffs that have been baked in. But overall, gas prices are plummeting. The new Russia-U.S. alliance would like clobber gas and energy prices, which would destroy inflation. Rates could come down faster. We have two rate cuts this year. Powell will be out next year. And they're going to take the rates very low in 2026. Let's take a look at what I'm looking at. LULU, but they have earnings. We're coming over to a daily. Look at this. Bear flag with a retest and a rejection. The rejection, how do I know there's a rejection? There's a little wick there. They have indicators. I was reading that. They have earnings next week, though. We got to keep our eyes peeled on that. Looks like a huge gap fell into here, the 277. That thing could come down again. Microsoft. You know, looking at Friday, the trading day, you're like, gosh, the bottom's in. Why didn't I load C's more earlier this week? Well, it sure seems like that on a 5-minute time frame. And it could be in. RSI's rising. Look at this. We just nicked the top of the channel and rejected the 20, and we're in a flag here on Microsoft. That doesn't look good. That does not look good. Moving on. Apple. This would have got me, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Almost a shooting star. Not quite. It needed to be placed a little bit higher in a bear flag with this bar opening lower here. I would have been in that for puts. We had quad witching Friday. I swung puts and banked. Sold. Poof. Right it open. Which was smart because we kind of ripped and danced around and then tore. But what the heck is that candle after? I don't know. That is wild. Tesla. I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with that. There's bear flags everywhere on things. I am a bit worried. Tesla. At some point, they got robotics. At some point, it's going to reverse. I called TSLA last Sunday, and I got rocked on it. Where is the candlestick? The hammer. Yeah. Those went to like 5 cents immediately. They were burning Tesla centers down over the weekend and vandalizing them. They got rocked. At some point, this thing's fixing to go. This bar opened lower than this body, though. That's not good, and you're catching downwards momentum. Usually when it's bearish, you want to wait for a bullish confirmation, which we do not have yet. That one was a loss. But overall, last week's trading, oh my gosh, was amazing. I was on fire. That was a loss. I didn't go too heavy. I had 3. And they had all that the vandalism and everything. They released the people who own Teslas, their addresses and phone numbers, and are giving them like a month to turn them in or they're going to come to your house. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Try that in Florida. That is not going to be good. Funny thing is people keyed my Tesla, my Model 3. This is off topic because you know you're in Florida. They think you're liberal. Now I'm gonna get attacked because they think I'm conservative. Like, dude, there's no winning. There's no winning. It's an EV. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Ridiculous. Getting it from both sides. When the trucks pass me, they crop dust me they gun it when they're in the diesels. They're like liberal, and they crop dust me, and now the liberals are going to be coming at me. It's funny. Moving on, CVX. I did another video, guys, at 6 something in the morning, and I just looked at it. I was like a zombie. I don't even remember it. But CVX looking hot here. PT would be right over here. Let's take a look at that. Let's move this over. Yeah, that's the PT. Right there, 172. We're at 164 right now. What else? There's stocks that I want to keep. You know, the rest of them, NVIDIA doesn't tell me anything. It looks like apps. That looks bullish. This looks bullish here on NVIDIA. That really does. But I'm seeing conflict. That doesn't look that bullish. I suppose maybe if we can snap above that body at 118, we could soar. Is there any gaps? There's no gaps. NVIDIA is just a gap filler. It's like Baba. But we have a gap down here I got to be worried about. Tariffs coming into effect not next week, but the week or no, next week. Yeah. 28th, 29th, 30th would be Sunday, Monday the 1st, Tuesday the 2nd. So if you're, I don't know. It's going to come down to that. Are they going to come to an agreement before that? So yeah, I really have Microsoft on watch. This is a weird list. I'm conflicted. It looks like the bottom's in. Then we have the tariffs, but we're in bear flags. We had a bull run inside of bear flags everywhere. I wanted to take a look at OKLO. That candle placement is disgusting, even though these are bull can. That looks like it's gonna fall. I don't think that's, I was posting on all over my Twitter. It is on anchored VWAP. That looks bad. The 200, that would be nice. Then I'll be bullish. I'm totally fine with taking this on the 200, even if it falls a little bit more. That's fine. That's fine. Thank Day Trader for the next 3 stocks. Wingstop. God, their sauce is nuclear. If you ask for hot there, you're just like, good God. You're like dabbing your face and blowing your nose. You get their chicken fingers and they douse it in a gallon of roasting hot nuclear waste. 100 is a gap fill. Do I think we're going to get there? No. If we did, I'd be buying. Look at their earnings. It's fantastic. Great earnings. Daily's not telling me anything. Sort of a bearish setup. Earnings. Oh my gosh. RSI is dropping lower. We cracked anchored VWAP. I want to own equity. How about this, guys? If we hit this volume shelf down here at 170, I'm going to start buying. I should start picking up equity. Let's say I wanted 100 shares to sell CCs, covered calls. I could pick up 5. If I'm wrong, whatever. If I'm right and it keeps dropping, I can throw 20 in, 30 in, 50 shares in. Right, start to bounce off that, add my full 100 pack. Things aren't looking good though overall on SPY. Let's take a look at SPY here. This was written off the previous week. That body is not above. That is kind of sketchy. We still are on the 50, right? We have this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Okay, we've got this trend line down here, guys. That's where we're probably going to go overall. If we hit the 200, that would be great, just like in 2022, just like in well, that's a trend line that started there, so you can't count that. But I'd like to see the 200. Right, there's a 2018 bounce. Who remembers that? The veterans. COVID. You newer traders remember that. 2022. We formed a trend right there the second it hit. The second time, sometimes people say it has to tap 3 times, which it did right there. 100 right here. 200 anchor VWAP down here. This whole area I have my eyes peeled on. We could bounce up out of this before then peeling down, which is what I think we could do. Right? Bounce up. And then, oh, that looks like garbage. It wouldn't go straight there. It would have rallies in between and then quick drops, But overall, that's what I think is going to happen. We'll see if that actually happens. So let's take a look at the Qs. I just want to see T triple. Okay. $62. QQQ. Oh, we're below the 50. It rejected. I'm charting this live and thinking out loud. Right? I don't have anything prepared. Like fake politicians where they have prepared speeches and that someone else wrote for them that makes everybody feel good. I'm going right into this and thinking out loud here. Completely unorthodox. 100. Look at the RSI. It's not even rising too. I went long on DEC. DEC is another one. So let me go back. Let me go back to what I was going to say. This watch list is conflicting, I'm conflicted. I set up on St. Patty's Day. I nailed it. I was right. Should have swung VIX puts. I totally forgot. We had VIX expirations coming. VIX plummeted leading into that. I was bullish. I was right on this prior week being bullish. This week, ooh, I don't know. I'm seeing the 3 stocks that I'm looking at mentioned by Dave Trader. These are low floaters. These things can tear. They can plummet and they can tear. We were just at 224 in late January, basically February. We're in March, and this thing's a 117. 200 EMA and anchored VWAP right there. I want equity in this. They have good things coming. I have a write-up I'm going to release in the watch list on deck. They look good. We could completely fill that volume gap to 96. That could happen, and I want equity. We covered Wingstop. Now, these are stocks that I'm not totally sure on yet, but they're catching my eye, and I want to start buying equity. If we could come down here, that would be great. RSI is getting destroyed. Last time we were at RSI was at this level. We started to bounce here. I could start buying. Look at the earnings on this thing. This is insane. It's a sea of green. It just keeps beating. Right? Compass was one I mentioned last week. Go over to a daily. I'm mainly going to be watching CVX here, you know, and I charted this. We bounced out of that. Look, we snapped out of here. Look at it respecting the 20 EMA right there. I really like that. My watch list is me saying, I don't know. We're in bear flags. It looks like the bottom's in. It could be a trap. We'll see. Looking outside of those things, of some of the stocks that are the heavier large caps, the popular stocks, I should say, Apple, Microsoft. Well, I'm going to take a look at Google, LULU. They're looks like the bottom's in, but I don't know about that. And over here, when you try to catch this every time, it just didn't work. We can kind of ignore this garbage right here. That's all noise. Let's hop over to a weekly. That could just peel over and go down and then fill this gap over here at 143 at some point. $20 move, right? I wouldn't say that would happen in a week, but here's what I like on the weekly. Right off the 100 EMA. Can you let me see it to confirm? Oh my gosh. There we go. Moving average, 100. Almost a hammer. But this bar is lower than the previous one. I still think this would be a great area to add. Maybe we'll fill that gap. Maybe. We got huge tariffs coming in this volume shelf down here. Look at this. We have a big volume gap. We can get in that 130 range. That would be a great area in my opinion. But we have these tariffs coming into effect. Who knows where it's going to go? As a trader, sometimes you have to be okay with sitting on your hands and just not doing anything, just chilling. So I'm going to have my eyes and ears out. Day trading's been fantastic. If you guys have been with me on Voice, look at the opportunities we've had over the past two month and a half here. It's over the past month has been fantastic. More than that, almost 2 months. I mean, it's been great. Good month and a half of great price action. It's been wonderful. So, I don't know. I'm looking at the TA. I'm not sold that we're going bull. I'm not completely sold that we're going to go bear and the bear flags are going to break on everything. There's bear flags on a ton of other stuff. I don't even have time to go over everything. Upstart's one of them. Let me just pull that up before I get off. Earnings are good. Not good, guys. Not good. Well, Upstart down around 40 would be great. I can start selling cash secured puts on it. Can you imagine if it went back to 24? Before I get off, there's actually 2 more that came into mind. Tempest, it's quiet now. Everyone's kind of forgot. Is that a bear? Not necessarily. It's very sloppy. And when you learn this stuff, they don't teach you, they don't show you the sloppy ones that don't necessarily pan out. RSI is rising. We rejected right where the 20 and the 100 are. I don't know, guys. Everything's up in the air. Hand sitting time. Nimbus, I got assigned on that. And this isn't looking too hot. That doesn't look too hot right there. Yeah, we're filling that gap. I'll hold Nimbus though. I'm fine with holding that for like over a year. This is fine. I mean, this stock has performed pretty well. Going back to, let's just say, I mean, we're at 2017 levels on this. This thing was just 86 bucks. Wall Street rotated out of a lot of things that have to do with AI. But overall, that does not look good. Weekly, we formed a hammer. I'd like us to pop back up into the 40 range. My dollar cost average now is around 31. I got a sign there, 27. I sold one cover call. I had 2 cash secured puts. Look at that smack right there. Yeah. Let me just chart this real quick here. Yeah, that's dumb to chart the top up there. This could go lower. Let me go back to the daily. Where's that gap fill at? Right over here. 22. Good God. I better lock in some May cover calls tomorrow at open. I'm gonna lock into some May 34 so I could at least make $100 higher than, you know, where I. So I got paid to get assigned the shares. That's gonna get filled, that gap, it looks like, guys. I may sell a covered call for May, and with half the money, buy a like April cash, an April put. Use like half. I'll generate the money to buy the put out of thin air by selling a covered call. In case this thing gets smacked, then I'm solid, you know. I could maybe make it a wide debit spread to make it alleviate some of the to preserve my capital, you know. I think I'll do that. That's going to be a wild. I'm in 200 shares, selling a cover call in April, then another cover call in May, using the income from the cover call in May to buy a put, then selling a further output, making that a debit spread in order to alleviate preserve some of the capital. Jeez. If you looked at that, you would have no idea what's going on my port. There's all these you're like, what the heck is going on? That's what I'm getting a little bit advanced here. This is where risk management really comes into play. You can see how advanced I get with some of this stuff. Those of you sellers understand everything. Once you understand the sell side, you really get the buy side. Once you understand debit spreads, credit spreads, cash secured puts, covered calls, the wheel, the 112, 111 ratio spreads, Jade Lizard. You learn all that stuff, then you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is what will separate the amateur trader from the intermediate trader. Still wouldn't say, I guess I would say I'm advanced, but that's some good risk management right there. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I can post this in the wheel strategy, in the wheel channel where I post my sell side stuff. But not a lot of people are going to understand how to follow. But that's why you guys should look at some of my videos. I teach how to do the wheel and debit spreads and credit spreads and the Jade Lizard. Information's free. You learn that stuff, you can learn some advanced risk management here. I sold these right around, it was over in here like 41. I sold the 33s. I was like, it's not going to 33. Thing rocketed to $50, almost 51, and then just yanked aggressively here. So I'm going to be holding this for a long time, but I'll manage. Anyways, if you guys like this information, make sure to like and follow for more. Comment. Join the Discord if you're not in. Completely free to join.